I'm going to show you how you, as a setter, can make over $10,000 a month. But first, let's talk about what you're doing as a setter. Yes, you're setting up appointments, but what you're really doing on these calls is creating belief, right? You're creating layups for your closers. You are the Dwyane Wade to LeBron. And the better that you can create belief, the better your closers will perform and the more money and commission you will make. And in this video, I'm gonna teach you exactly that, how to create belief on your calls and make more commissions and become an irreplaceable asset to the business you work with. Because let's admit it, my guy, most businesses, they don't have the greatest marketing. And that's where you come into place. And if you're wondering who I am, my name is Rome. I've done over 10 million cash collected. I've built, managed, trained multiple sales teams doing multiple six figures a month, and I continue to do so. So that's exactly why you should listen to me, because I know what it takes to be a top performer. Now let's dive into this video. This is what we're gonna do in this video, so you guys have a bird's eye view. Number one, we're gonna talk about the right mindset to have. We're gonna talk about the trick that my 9-figure mentor taught me to do before every single sales call. I'm gonna show you guys how to intro like a boss and not sound like a telemarketer and get hung up on. How you actually build a guy from where they are to where they want to be so that there's enough tension for them to want to make a change. How to tell a story, a relevant story from your testimonials that add value. Talk about your industry misconception to show them that you know your shit. Call to action, which is to book a call, send them those assets, and setting the expectations so that it reduces no-show rate. I'll show you guys how in a sec. Now, the mindset. What mindset you guys should have? I don't want you guys to have commission breath and think about the money, okay? You got to think of yourself like you are the expert and you just wanted to reach out, see how you can help them, right? You're coming from a place of support, from a place of help. And your goal is to find a clear pain or goal. And once you find that, you're just going to offer to help them bridge that gap from where they are to where they want to be, right? And you got to be very detached from the outcome, okay? I want you to assume that you're not even going to close this guy or girl. All right, you're going to shift belief. You're right. You're going to have this point in the call where you know that you're going to shift their perspective. Okay, because if they're on the call with you, I promise you, if you have the information, they need a perspective shift. And last but not least, I don't know what this why is here, but enjoy the conversation. Have fun with it, guys. Be yourself. Be your authentic self. Now, what do you need to do before the call? It's very simple, guys. Watch your damn testimonials so that you actually believe that it works. Even if you know it works in the back of your mind, when you watch people actually succeeding with your program, whatever it is that you're selling, then your conviction is going to go up by 100 times. You're going to hop in with great energy and they will feel that. All right, now let's dive into the script, guys. Now, how do you start this? Obviously, high energy. You come in, hey, Josh? Do not ever say, hey, is this Josh? You sound like a debt collector and they're going to hang up on you. So it's like, hey, Josh, you're piquing curiosity. You're like, they're going to be like, yeah, hello? Hey, it's, Rome with XYZ company. How's it going? Good. Now, if they don't know who you are, you got to remind them, hey, you picked up our $27 bundle. I'll teach you how to build a business, this and that. Does that ring a bell? Yes, rings a bell. Great. Hey, listen, the reason for the call is that I just noticed that you picked up the bundle, and I just wanted to reach out personally and see if and how we can actually help you. You have a few minutes? Do not say now is a good time. Do not say is it a bad time. It is never a good time, and it is always a bad time. But everybody has 2 minutes. You got a few minutes? Great. So if it's cool with you, can I start off with a few questions? And this is the money, guys. All right? This is the money. And this is how you say it, okay? All right. Josh, can you, kick things off a bit and give me a little background about yourself and why are you looking to get into this? And I'll see how I can help you. You're like a little confused, right? This is on purpose. It will disarm them. Very important. And it will, if you do this correctly, guys, they will tell you everything. Well, I'm doing this, and the reason I want to do this is because of that. Guess what? They're making your life a lot easier. Okay? Now, these are some obstacles that you guys might run into. And it most likely you will get this if you didn't sound confident in the beginning, you didn't demonstrate you were an expert, you weren't sharp, you didn't sound confident. But let's go through these real quick. I'm busy, I can't talk, right? Maybe somebody's actually busy. No problem. Real quick, by the way, before you go, like what actually motivated you to get the bundle? What was the intent behind signing up for XYZ? You want to squeeze in 1 to 2 questions and try to schedule them for uh, down the line, either today or tomorrow. So another one. Who is this? Again, this is probably your fault. You need to be clear. Hey, this company, you picked up this at this date and time. So how do you actually build that gap? Now, the gap is really simple, guys. We have to figure out what's going on in their life right now. Okay, what's going on in their life right now that's actually making them look into this, and what is their goal? All right, what is their goal? And we need to make sure we have a juicy goal, not something surface level. And so once we figure out what's A and B, we want to understand what's been holding them back from getting from A to B. Now, this is how you do this. The first question, like that, I always like to ask, if did they not answer it in this question over here, is what was the intent behind getting into XYZ? And the reason why this is capitalized is because you're basically highlighting it in conversation, because we want them to focus on that word subconsciously. And the reason why we pause over here is to give them time to think and internalize the question that you're asking them to give you a juicy response. Because you're not talking to ChatGPT, you're talking to a human being, right? So it should sound something like that. So, Josh, what was the intent behind getting into XYZ, signing up XYZ, purchasing XYZ? And if you do that properly, then they're not going to say, I'm just curious and looking around. If they do say that, however, these are some rebuttals that you can ask. Again, if you execute properly, you'll never get this. But I'm not going to go over this. You can pause if you like. Next, situation, point A. So again, depending on how they answer the first question, if they gave you a little background, if they told you what they do for the 9 to 5, then we just skip to here. But if not, then ask them. So, gotcha. So what is it that you have going on right now? Like, do you have a job, 9 to 5? Do you have a business, school? What do you do? Huh. Interesting. Okay. And are you 100% satisfied with what you do? This is a ninja question because nobody's 100% satisfied with anything. And this is the easiest way for you to understand and uncover pain points. And when they say they're not satisfied, that's exhausting, and this and that, dig deeper, right? I'm not satisfied. Why not? It's exhausting. Huh. What do you mean by it's exhausting? What do you mean by that? I'm confused, right? Childlike curiosity, guys. You need to. Most salespeople like, oh, it's exhausting. Yeah, man, I can't even imagine. No, dig deep. Let them feel the pain. All right, not because we want them to be in pain, is that so they can be aware of their situation, aware of the pain that they're going through in their life, which will create what? Urgency. After that, before you go to point B, before you go to vision, you always want to ask them, hey, by the way, have you done anything like this before? Right? You want to make sure they understand the business model, because a lot of people come in calls, they have no idea what they're signing up for. They have like a rough idea of what they're getting themselves into. So make sure you are both on the same page of what they're getting themselves into. Okay. Once that's done, vision. I always like to say, for a smooth transition, if you guys don't know how to finesse it, I always like to say, okay, I feel like I have a pretty good idea of where you're at right now. Let's switch gears and talk about where you're looking to take this long term. Right. So, fast forward 6 to 12 months from now, what are some of your goals with this? What are you really trying to accomplish? Right. And, widen the gap. If they say financial freedom, time freedom, do not take that as an answer. That doesn't mean jack shit. All right. We want a juicy response. So dig deeper on that. Huh, interesting, Josh. Interesting, Mr. Prospect. When you say financial freedom, what do you really mean by that? Or what does financial freedom look like to you? Because it can look like many things for different people. Okay. And after you figure out their goals, you always want to throw this in. I'll tell you why in a second. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So this isn't just some side project, right? This is something you're legitimately wanting to scale to full time, right? And they'll always say, yeah, 100%. I really want to take this seriously. Guess what? Now they have to be that character that actually takes this seriously, right? Their actions have to be aligned with their words on the call. So when you ask them to book a call later, if they would be interested in getting more help, they're going to say yes, because that person that's taking it seriously. Now, once we figure out where they are, where they want to be, it's time to figure out what's actually been holding them back. All right. Now, focus. Number one, you need to ask them, you need to get a timeline, right? How long have you been thinking about making this change? Not how long have you been thinking about getting into e-commerce or getting into this. It's focused on the change that they're trying to make. Because if you ask them, how long have you been thinking about getting into e-commerce, whatever business model that you're selling, then they're going to give you a completely different answer that it will not help you with what you're about to do, which is understanding what's been actually holding them back from making that change. So if you ask how long have you been thinking about getting into e-com or real estate, like, oh, a couple weeks, couple months, it's going to be a different conversation. Now, when they tell you how long, right, now we have a timeline, we like to ask, what steps have you actually taken to get closer to that goal? And here, you're looking for alignment with their actions and goals, right? And if they're out of alignment, right, they say, oh, like, I don't have time and this and that, right? That's out of alignment, because if they want to be that 2.0 version of themselves, they got to be able to have time as well, right? So if they don't have time, well, that's misalignment. Like, what do you mean you didn't have time? However, that might be a better conversation with the closer than yourself for now. We just want to understand, what have they taken, right? Another question to ask is, what do you feel like has been holding you back, right? Is it guidance? Is it not having you don't know how to implement the right information? Like, is it just so much noise? Like, what's been holding you back, right? And that will obviously help the closer or yourself if you're closing them on the second call, understanding what's been holding them back and then digging deeper on that call. So once we got out of the way, what I like to do is share a client story. Hey, listen, you remind me of this in person. Obviously, make sure it's a real person, right? If you're a seller for a company, I hope you have a lot of testimonials. So go through testimonials and put them in a file so you can easily be able to relate. Like, for example, a person who hated his 9 to 5 but found a really, really, was missing that help, didn't have that guidance, and eventually got that guidance and got the results that he wanted, right? So that's somebody that you would share that has a 9 to 5, right? So just make sure it's relatable. Now, the second thing, and this is one of the most important things that you're going to do on this call, right, is showing them that you're an expert, right? Because otherwise, why would they even want to book another call if they don't believe that you can actually help them? So you need to show them that you know your shit, right? And talk about the industry misconception. This is the structure. Most people think common industry strategy doesn't work. Actually, it's our unique mechanism that works. I'll show you guys an example here, okay? For example, for this one of the offers that we're working on, we list their exact pain points over here, right? So we say, listen, as a prospect, when it comes to making $10,000 a month or more with an online business, most people who do never even do that because they're lost in all the information as they see, and because of that, they don't have the guidance, put in the information, and they give up. And then the solution, your solution to that problem, which would be, that's exactly why our company, literally blueprinted the way to success. We already know what works: the winning products, the winning content, the winning pages, right? So you go from where to even start to earning over 10K a month as whatever business owner you are, faster than you thought possible, right? So this would be unique to your offer. So the way that you'd find this out, find the pain points, ask the marketing team, what are the top 3 pain points of our leads, right? And what's the solution? How do we actually help them? What are we really good at, right? So this is really, really important, guys. Demonstrate expertise so they can look at you like an expert who can actually help them get them to the goals. I'll give you a quick example for real estate, right? Hey, Mr. Prospect, most people want to do wholesaling, end up going cold calling 8 hours a day, driving, looking for places, negotiating, wasting all that time. They can barely even do a deal every couple months or a year. So what we do is we leverage inbound marketing. We have people waving their hands saying, hey, I'm willing to sell my home, rather than us cold calling. And then we use AI to negotiate with these people. So now you're saving your time and spending 100% of your time actually closing deals. And this will like hype them up and excite them, right? Because you have the solution. Now, now it's time for financially qualifying them. Now, listen, if you are allowed to do this, great. That means you have a lot of volume. If not, then you don't need to financially qualify, but you need to gauge their commitment if they're actually willing to invest. So we say something like this. Based on what I've heard, I think we might be able to help you. I'm not 100% sure. We definitely need to set up another call to go over a few more things. But let's just say that we did that and we broke down exactly how we can go help you from where you are right now, stuck into 9 to 5, this and that, and get you to a point where you're able to have financial freedom to spend more time with your kids and do the things that are actually important to you. And you felt fully confident that this could actually work for you. Would you be interested in being a part of something like that? Right? Most people will say yes. Well, if you can help me do that, and accomplish my dreams, yes, cool. And this is optional. I have my team do this all the time. I say, cool. If we found that is the right move for you, do you have some capital set aside to invest if that's what it took? Right? Wait for the yes, move along. I did this here. I'm not going to go through it, but it's just another style, another word track that you guys can use. You can pause the video or maybe message me on IG. I can just send this to you. My IG is Rome.Nasrallah. I'll put it in the link description. Now, at the end, after they say, okay, great. They say, yes, I'm down. Beautiful. Hey, I got to run. You're always booked. You're busy. You got to go, right? But I think we might be able to help you. Let's set up a call later today or tomorrow so we can go over it and see if it would be a good fit. What time works best for you tomorrow, right? Always set up next 2 days, preferably next day. And if you can't even set it the same day, if you're calling in the morning, do that, right? The emotion is high. They're invested. Everything's fresh in their mind. So the sooner, the better. Now, I'm going to go through some potential objections that you guys will probably get, okay? After that, asking that question, do you have capital set aside? They'll say this, I don't know. It depends how much it is. It depends on the investment. It's a lot of money. So what you want to do is acknowledge, hey, completely fair. I understand. And honestly, I don't even know if we can help you yet. We've only spoken for 10 minutes. So I wouldn't want the investment to be the only thing that's stopping you right now. Let's just have that conversation first and see if that even makes sense. If that does, then we could talk about the investment after, and there's no commitments right now, right? You don't want to give them a price. Never want to do that. Let's just say they say I got scammed before, right? I hear you, man. I've heard a lot about I've heard a lot of that. Let me ask you this. Let's give them an analogy, very simple analogy. This will fix it right away. If a friend ever stabbed you in the back, would you decide to never make friends again? Would you eventually go meet new people, form new friendships? And they say, no, I'm going to obviously go and make new friends. You go, exactly. Same thing in business, man. You can't let one bad experience close the door on the opportunities that could literally change your life, right? The goal is not to stop trusting. It's to learn how to spot what's real and what's not, right? That's why we go through these experiences and learn what's good for us and what's not. And after that, we schedule them in. What's your availability like today, tomorrow? And don't say, what time are you available? You're just going to go back and forth. Make it easy. Make it easy for them to book a call. What time are you available? Does tomorrow work for you? Yes, tomorrow works for me. Great. Does morning, afternoon, and evening work for you? They'll tell you which one. You'd have the calendar open, lock them in. Now, by the way, make sure that they get the email. I don't put it in here, but make sure they get the email and be like, hey, do you mind like RSVPing? Yes. That way we know, the closer knows that you're actually going to show up, or not the closer, the head coach. Let's not call them closers on the call. The head coach, the advisor, whatever it is that you call them. Very important. Let them put a thumbs up. That way they're like, it's like a subconscious commitment. It works. Now, this is very important. Before you let them go, you definitely want to send them some marketing material that's going to help you and the closer close them. Okay, it's probably going to get rid of a lot of potential objections, maybe they don't have clarity on the business model. So I would say this. I'm like, hey, Austin, by the way, I'm going to text you a link on YouTube real quick. Let me know whenever you get it. Like, yeah, got it. Perfect. Yeah, that's an interview of this founder with this person. I think it's going to help you a lot. Regardless of what direction you take, based on your situation, it'll give you more clarity. And by the way, it's about a 30-minute video. Would you be able to watch it before the call? I'm like, yes, we'll watch it. Great. Perfect. So yeah, get them emotionally warmed up, invested before speaking for the closer, 100%. These are examples of things that you can send them: specific course material, free material, testimonials, tailored testimonials, YouTube videos, pre-call videos, whatever that you guys, whatever resources you guys have. If you don't, I would advise you to make some. And this is just a different word track of what we said over here. So I won't go through that. Now, guys, this as a setter is very damn important. Okay. You want to make sure the show up rate is high. I'm not sure why I turned British. However, you want to be a human here and ask them, hey, listen, by the way, if anything comes up before the call, that's totally fine. We know life happens. Just shoot me a quick text, let me know, and we can reschedule you. No problem at all. Right? They're going to appreciate that. And it's going to create a psychological safety and humanizes you as the setter. Right? So it reduces the pressure. Sure, if they felt something is going to pop up, instead of them feeling bad, they're like, oh, they told me to text them if I want to reschedule. So that's going to increase your show up rate, or at least have them let you know that they can't make it so that it can free up space for the closer. And I think that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment, let me know what other videos you'd like me to make. And if you're a setter who's experienced, or you're brand new to the business, looking to get into the game, and again, if you're experienced and you're looking to get better, schedule a call with me below. If you're looking for more advanced training, I am taking another 10 people. And no, this is not a scarcity bullshit tactic that most people actually use. I am a sales director. I actually run 3 different offers with multiple sales teams, obviously. So with that being said, I can only handle 10. If you guys think this might be worth your while, let me know. We can schedule a call, chat, see if it's a good fit, and we'll take it from there. Otherwise, God bless you guys. Stay prayed up. See you in the next one. Peace.